Luis de la Fuente's remarkable record at major tournaments continues. He has led Spain into the World Cup final, much to the delight of all those back home in Madrid and Barcelona. They've beaten France today by 2-0.
Rodri, congratulations. You guys managed to have a good level of control against one of the most disruptive teams in the world. What was key for that?
Collective effort of everyone. I think Spain is been growing around the World Cup. I think today we did the best performance so far. I mean, what a team, you know, we face with all the strength they have in all the lines, very, very strong team. They can punish you in every single moment, so I think the focus on every single minute was key in this game. Unbelievable effort of everyone. I cannot say a player that was like, it was an unbelievable effort of the guys that play and the guys who came from the bench, always raising the level.
Is composure one of the key elements of this team, and how did you develop this throughout the years?
Yeah, I think I said it in the games before. I think we're showing the character of being so mature in certain moments and in big moments. And this is for me the most important thing, you know, to wait your moment in the game, to don't get crazy because they punish you or they make an action or whatever. And I think the composure, as you said, is the key of this team.
World Cup final, second in Spain's history. What does it mean for this generation to reach a World Cup final?
Well, it means a lot. We only been twice in our history, so difficult to arrive until this moment. But we want more. We want to win this World Cup. We need to rest now. Of course, try to see what we can improve because we are going to expect even a tougher game the next one. But yeah, so happy.
Stade Stadium is our destination today for the first of two World Cup semi-finals. Alexis Lalas, Zlatan Ibrahimović, Thierry Henry, Rebecca Lowe with you. We will hear from the second goal scorer, Pedro Porro, shortly, but we'll begin, Lex, by talking everyone through the story of this game.
Yeah, the stars are out, on and off the field for that matter, and this is just like I said, an innocuous cross that comes across. You think, all right, he'll deal with it. Digne on that far side. He makes a complete mess of this, doesn't recognize where Lamine Yamal is, and Lamine Yamal says, I will sneak in on your offside there, blind side, and it's a penalty. Ibrahimović steps up, crushes it, absolutely crushes it in the back of the net, and just like that, Spain up 1-0, off to the races, feeling good about themselves.
And in the 28th minute, you're gonna see an early injury from William Saliba. You can see now he goes down, some kind of injury, and France has to do their first substitution. Maxence Lacroix comes in. Crystal Palace legend, not difficult to beat. In the 58th minute, Pedro Porro makes 1-2. Look at the French players, they're ball watchers. What happens? He comes free, bam, 2-0. 1-2 with the striker, comes free. The French players, they watch the ball, follow your guy. Whenever they do 1-2, you'll follow your guy. Don't watch the ball. And makes it 2-0. And happy.
And then we thought maybe, but just a maybe, something can happen from here. Laporte miscontrolling the ball, Cherki feeding Kylian Mbappe, Unai Simon comes out. I thought that maybe Desiree Doué was going to take it. One touch is a bit difficult, but then Unai Simon comes back, gets the ball, saves it. Maybe if it was Zlatan, he would have tried to volley it from here, but he's not Zlatan, couldn't finish it. It was too little from France at the end of the very day. We already talked about it. They controlled the game on and off the ball. They showed why they're European champion. They're showing why they're going to the final. There is nothing to add. They were far more, I think they were superior. There's nothing to say about it. Sometimes you just have to think about it and see what you can do next time you meet them. But, like I said, Spain, well done.
Two goal scorers for Spain today. Then, as you saw, Oyarzabal, he has 17 in his last 18, 30 in 60 for Spain. The other goal scorer, not as many. Pedro Porro with 2 for Spain, both at this World Cup. Let's hear from him now.
Well, it's a dream come true. I couldn't even dream of this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because of the team's attitude from beginning to end. I think that we did such an amazing game. We gave it our all in order just to go through to the final. We knew they were a very tough team that were doing things really well, and this is our team. It's not about me.
Pedro Porro with the second goal today, but I want to talk once again. You mentioned him at half-time, Oyarzabal. What a contribution to this team. 30 goals and 60 appearances for Spain, Thierry.
Do you remember the first ever day?
I do remember.
Okay, I said people don't show respect to Oyarzabal. Okay, now I think they will.
Why do you think they don't?
Because he is playing for Sociedad, and maybe that's not maybe your typical team that people think, oh my God, he doesn't play for Barcelona, he doesn't play for Atletico, he doesn't play for Real Madrid. But put some respect on his name, because when you look at the numbers and look at also where he scored those goals and when he scored those goals, you just have to respect that. That's about it. I know he's not your step over guys, not make guys and whatnot. But one thing that he surely knows where is where the net is. And so you have to respect that, and he's been brilliant for a very long time for Spain.
Zlatan, maybe he's not fashionable, like Thierry says, plays for Real Sociedad instead of a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. But as Thierry talks about, the numbers you can't argue with.
No, the numbers are crazy, and but if I speak about Spain, I don't speak about one star. The team is the star. When they shine collective. Even if you have Yamal, but this is not a team that is dependent on one player. It's not an individual performance. This is a team performance. Everything they do is as a team, and this guy does these crazy numbers because of the team. And he's not your typical star. When you talk about Yamal, you talk about Mbappe, Olise, he doesn't shine in that way, but he does what's the most important, the goals that counts, and they're in the World Cup Final. I prefer to score those goals to come to the final than to be a star and not come to the final. So congrats to him. I want to give also credit to the France team. They were shining, they did amazing things. Deschamps, he did an amazing job with the French national team. I wish him all the best in the next chapter. And we have been enjoying this French team, and they lost against a better team today. And congrats also to Spain for reaching the World Cup final.
I know you said it in a few moments ago, but I'm going to ask you more about Didier Deschamps in just a second. I just want to ask you about Spain, Lex. Have they just warmed themselves perfectly into this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, every coach will tell you that you don't win it in the beginning, and you, to the extent that you can, you like to get better over the course of a tournament. Well, this was against a French team that they did this, and this was as good as they have been. I think this performance was something, like I said, something that you put up on the wall and say, this is how we play the game, and this is why we play the game. To your point about Oyarzabal, yeah, he doesn't scream movie star. We love our stars, and he is a star in the sense that he puts the ball in the back of the net. And those people that do are going to get the attention. But the star of this team had a good game, but still didn't star in this game. He had the possession. He kept the possession. So even in this moment, the star of the team is just part of this team, and that's what makes them really, really good.
They didn't start the best way, Spain, but it's not how you start; it's how you finish. And they didn't concede a goal also today. This is the 7th. They concede only one game out of 7.
Let's finish before we head down to Rob and the guys pitch side. I wanted to ask you again, Didier Deschamps, I said it was goodbye to him. Of course, he will take charge of the third place game on Saturday down in Miami against the loser of either England or Argentina. 25 years of his life with this team. I'm just going to give you another few moments to say about him.
Well, I said it before. Thank you for what he has done as a player. Thank you for what he has done as a coach. Yes, we know the third and fourth place. It's better to finish third. I don't know if he does have that medal, by the way, but he has them all at the end of the very day. But no, look, like I said, today wasn't supposed to be, but we will always remember him. I don't know what he's going to do next. Zlatan said it. We wish him all the very best. We all know who is coming next. So hopefully, you said it. I don't know. He hasn't been announced. But look, we all know he's coming next. We also wish him all the very best. Hopefully, Didier can also finish, with a win, and maybe Mbappe can finish top goal scorer and all of that. But once again, Didier Deschamps has been outstanding for the national team. So Didier, merci.
Yeah, reports are that Zinedine Zidane will come in as the new head coach of this France team.
All the best, Zizou!
Yeah, but what a bunch of players to take over. Right, let's get some more post-match reaction. Pitch side, Landon Donovan, Javier Hernandez and Rob Stone. Guys?
Seeing again Deschamps, only the third player and coach to win a World Cup as a player and as a coach. We talked about in the pregame, though, Javier, that left side of the French backline in the midfield, that was a soft spot, and Spain exploited it today.
Yeah, definitely. Lamine Yamal with a very clever and cheeky play. You know, that we've seen so many penalties like that when the ball is in the air, the defender or the guy who wants to kick it out never see the player just come before the kick. We saw it with Luka Modric, you know, against England and etc. Some other penalties, and then this happened for Dini, and then the penalty, then Oyarzabal with a lot of personality. I agree what they say over there about that he's not playing in these top world-class clubs. That's why they don't respect him maybe, and we don't talk about him, but the numbers are there, you know. To come here in a semi-final, score a penalty, you know, what that matters. But then Pedro Porro, the amazing 1-2 that he did, an amazing goal, was as well from the right side.
We're seeing highlights of Yamal right now. Landon, grade his performance today.
He was fantastic. He drew the penalty. He hasn't been the goal scorer we've expected this tournament, but as he's gotten healthier throughout the tournament, he's gotten better and better. And you just see it where we sat. Our vantage point was great, and you said it so perfectly before the game. Every time he gets the ball, there's this real fear in the French team, and his decision making as to when to just pass quickly and then everybody relaxes, or he starts to go at you, and he mixed it up perfectly all night, and he was almost unplayable at times. Both goals came down that side. Yep. Plus the goal he scored that was a little bit offside. He was great.
Let's talk about the Spanish defense. World Cup record, 6th shutout they pitched today. They've only allowed 1 goal. What is it about what they do, particularly today, Javier, that shut down a French side that was arguably the best offensive unit at this World Cup?
I'm going to keep insisting that the way that they press, it helps them a lot because they maintain their opposition always as far as they can, and they can recover a lot of balls. So the volume of the defense, it's less because they're pressing and pressing high enough, and they recover a lot of balls. And even if they don't recover, they make the ball to come a little bit, not, we said in the football world, not as clean as they expected offensively, part of your opposition. So I think that's important. And then, you know, the 4 defenders, you know, Cucurella, Pedro Porro, Laporte and Cubarsí, they did an amazing game today, stopping Mbappé, make them a very hard day. Olise didn't have a very good performance, but as well is because of the credit of how the whole team defends in Spain.
They weren't as dominant statistically possession-wise, but their possession was so calm and so professional, and they just slowly would pick apart the French team and made them run to the point where the French team would be disgusted because they couldn't get around the ball, and they would just be dejected and give up a little bit. And there were these moments in the game, 2 really important moments. Balls got clipped over the top, and we kind of stood out. Mbappe's in. We went, oh my God. And Unai Simon was aggressive, charged off his line and made a couple massive plays. And that plays into your psyche too from France. You're like, we can't play in front of you. They're defending well, and we try to go behind, and Unai Simon is so far off his line and puts out the fire. We can't find a way to break them down.
At what point were you saying, uh-oh, France is in trouble today?
Well, it felt pretty early for me because, look, I talked, when Ian and I called the Spanish game earlier in the tournament, I said there is this commitment by everybody to defend collectively, and they're so, you talk about them and with the possession and all that, they just defend so well. All their top 4 players really press, and actually France tonight, this was the most I've seen them run and press. They just couldn't get around the ball consistently. Yeah, there were a few giveaways when Unai Simon had to play long and Oyarzabal couldn't bring it down and all that, but they were just so calm in how they went about it, and then their pressing was so effective, and it never allowed France to get any control of the game.
Your thoughts on Mbappé in his performance today?
I think he did good. The situation is they were facing a better team today. I think not individually, I think groupally, Spain did a better job than France. You know, the France players in general, they didn't help the attackers to put them in a better position, you know, but I think it wasn't because of individualities. I think the team basically, like Landon said it, how this Spain team plays defensively and as well offensively. We see it in that play with Pedro Porro, in the right side, how he ends up finishing an amazing play from the whole team. Rodri as well, doing so much silent job that no one sees because it's not like extraordinary or shining, but it's so important for this national team. And then two players that I think they want this opportunity to start in the game, like it's Fabian Ruiz and Dani Olmo. In the beginning of the World Cup, they weren't starters. They were trying to fix, and even I remember, for example, in the first lineup against Cabo Verde, exactly, Gavi started as a left winger, not even Baena. They were trying to figure out how to put a player over there to cover a very huge position like he was Nico Williams.
And I was just going to say, by the way, we didn't even see Nico Williams for very much tonight, so he will be a little bit fitter in the next game if and when they need him in the game. If you were going to construct a team, Rob, this is the ideal team. You have veteran, good goalkeeper, really solid Laporte, who's a good leader, and then a young center back who's maybe the best young center back, maybe the best center back in the world. Two veteran outside backs who attack and defend well. Then you have this midfield that is, you have to say, the best in the world. You have a really dangerous, nasty winger who can go at you and beat you with pace. You have the calm of Fabian Ruiz and Oyarzabal, and then you have Baena, who goes under the radar too. Just a really good soccer player. They're just an elite team as a group.
Let's put a bow on France. How would you describe this team as they exit at the semifinal stage?
Man, they were fun to watch.
It was amazing. It was amazing to watch them, in the record that they had and the expectations that we were putting on them on this game. It was phenomenal. But once again, the better team today was Spain. It's not that France was terrible. Of course, when you lose, they weren't terrible. The situation is Spain did an amazing plan. They followed it. They executed pretty well. And then they scored the goals. And then France couldn't. But I think France had made an amazing World Cup. They couldn't. We spoke it off camera. They couldn't repeat, the three finals in a row in the World Cups. They couldn't make that. But then they're going to be trying to make the third or fourth place. Even that people say it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Go right now instead of going third or fourth. And then Mbappé
and the golden boot.
And the golden boot as well.
To him, exactly. But like Thierry said, merci to Didier Deschamps and what he's done. It was phenomenal and so fun to watch. But in the important moments where they were able to get wide and go 1v1, Spain time after time just put out the fire with either two people defending or just good individual defending and made it way less dangerous than it's been in other games.
Definitely. Felt like we were at Azteca at the end with the Olays going on as Spain was knocking
a lot of Mexican
fans.
A
lot of Mexican fans here as well. So La Roja moves on to their second ever World Cup final. We will see them, Rebecca, Sunday in New York, New Jersey.
We will find out the second of them. Let's have a look at the second goal. Feels like we're picking a little bit on Digne, the fullback, doesn't it? But it's possible not for you to point out where he's gone wrong with his second goal as well.
Mark, you maybe have to look. Deschamps is an incredible manager who's won amazing things, but you do have to look at why he didn't take him off earlier. He was really struggling at half-time, said that he was hanging on for dear life, and what you see in this second goal is the classic covering yourself, and you're basically going too wide towards your wide player because you don't want him to run at you. And
look at that, playing it from their own goalkeeper as well, Gary. They were so confident at this stage.
That's too easy.
Yeah.
Look
how much space almost got.
The midfield's, to be fair, non-existent, which is a problem, but the back four are in situ, they're in place. They're structurally okay at this point. Obviously, France do okay in this initial bit of defending. He reads that one, he heads it, he's got to get his legs back up again. He's working those legs, and then as you see him here now, he's frightened of Lamine Yamal getting the ball to his feet, so he goes out. Now he's going to get back in now, and he doesn't. He stays where he is.
But you know what, Gary, when I see these goals, you see players make mistakes, and it's clearly a mistake. Again, maybe his confidence gone, he doesn't know what to stick or twist against really good wide players. But you expect your mates then to cover for you. I think it happens all the time. Players do get caught out of position, but no one's helping each other. That's where they didn't play as a team.
No one's very alert to that,
that's why they didn't play as a team, because the whole part of being a football team is your mates cover you when you're having a bad time. You're never going to come to a game of football where everyone plays well. And obviously the attacking players of France are going to be criticised today. But the French defensive midfield were still all over the place. They weren't doing the basics right. So whatever about the attacking players not turning up, the team behind them didn't exactly give them a foundation to want to win the game.
When you look at the goal, I think Digne, of course, should do better. We're talking about somebody with the experience. But in the other side as well, I think Doué has a responsibility as well, because Porro played a 1-2 around him, and then he has to just be in front of him and to stop his run. or to follow him. And I think we can blame Dean because of his tactical position, but Doué in this situation as well has to be more decisive and more defensive minded.
But if you're expecting a young winger to stay with a 1-2, and that's your sort of last line of defence, you're asking for trouble, I think, anyway.
Yeah, but we are talking about somebody who won Champions League football.
I know, but he's
playing this level. So this defensive side, I think when you play against Spain, is different if you play against Morocco. So the quality of the opposition players is much better. So defensively, there's awareness that has to go to a different level.
Look, it's a lesson for Doué. I still would think an experienced fullback there, as he sees what's developing, he's got to tuck back in.
It's strange that we're saying it, but you look at the French team, they almost look, they lack confidence.
Yeah.
They lack energy as well.
It looked like they were waiting. They were waiting for someone to do something.
Yes.
That's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
Dembele.
Well, Dembele had one of the worst games I've ever seen him
We
play.
talked about Dembele, obviously we talked about Elise a lot. It was actually fair dues. Lamine Yamal, 19 yesterday. We said he'd had a quiet World Cup. He turned up, didn't he? How impressed were you with him today?
Very impressed, because like you're wondering with the injuries that he's had, is the groin and the ankle, but like at no stage did he look like he was ever like holding on to him, like I'm not going to go past. Like every opportunity he had to try and go past, cut inside, whatever he's doing, he was doing it with real vigor. Like look, he's trying to take on two players here. He really did show up today. He showed up,
and he injected the energy in the
without
team,
doubt,
a bit like Roy was saying. France
well, he's the one that they need to do it. So you were wondering, has he got the pace to go past them with the injuries he's had? And he did. And he's the one that can take them out.
And the players behind him, Brady, when they know he's got the better of his play, they'll just keep giving it to him. You've got him, because you think the fullback knows, his teammates know. You go, just give him the ball. He'll get us up the pitch.
That was unlucky because the fractions in which he was offside there. Because you could see that he knew that he had Digne, and Digne knew that he had him, so he's petrified.
And everyone else did, right. That's my point. That his teammates would have known, and they would
gives you such a lift, doesn't
it? Of course, just keep giving it to him.
Rodri, Ruiz, Olmo, Pedri, Gavi off the bench, and we're not being wise after the event, but that is some midfield. I'm thinking about Spain, whoever they play in the final now.
Yeah,
be able to keep the ball in the final, maybe in a way that their opponents might not be able to.
Now, listen, they were quite really impressive in possession. I think we were all aware about the quality on possession. But today, I think they really frustrated this French team. And then there was so much space between the line. Or the French, when they were going to put pressure, they wasn't doing it collectively. So they play between the lines. And when you give them space with the quality that they have, they will hurt any team.
They won the game because out of possession today. We all love football. We love watching brilliant teams. It was a joy to watch. But you got to remind yourself what they do out of possession, and they got the rewards. They were outstanding. Their walk rate. They walked in packs. Did intensity to their play, a purpose, almost the opposite to the French.
At no stage did they ease off because they knew what could happen.
Absolutely. Well, we were waiting for the one goal and then the comeback. Well, it didn't happen. Spain very deservedly into the final.
With Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimović and Alexis Lalas as well. So Spain are leading France by 1-0. Let's show you the story of that first half. Lex, you can pick it up for us. 20 minutes on the clock, the first big moment.
After all the hoopla, an interesting half. France experiencing some pain, suffering a little bit. This looks like an innocuous cross, comes all the way over, and Digne makes a complete meal of this. Does not see Lamine Yamal coming from his blind side, who gets in front and then takes the whack off the leg. Penalty. Claro. Oyarzabal steps up, and just like that, 1-0 for Spain. And for the first time this tournament, France is down a goal. Again, he knew exactly where he was going. Didn't even have to look at the goalkeeper. Perfect. And Spain 1-0.
And then we're going to see an early injury here in the 28th minute. Saliba sits down. You see he's injured. We don't really know what kind of injury, but he's going to get substituted with Maxence Lacroix, a Crystal Palace legend. And then in the 38th minute, we're going to see here an action. A bad mistake from Mike here, from the goalkeeper of France. And then the ball eventually is going to come to Yamal. 1-2 with Olmo. Back heel. Cross back. Yamal. This is the way they play. Pass, pass, pass all the way. But no goal.
Thank you, Zlatan. You certainly know your players. Thierry, how do you assess that first half?
It's exactly what you don't want to be against Spain, behind them. But I have to say that the way they started the game, they controlled the ball. They control also when they didn't have the ball. The way they're controlling the game is second to none at the moment. Yes, it is a mistake, but the way we're playing, Michael lost a couple of balls already in the middle of the park that he doesn't usually lose. So Didier Deschamps, as you saw, put him on the right to see if they can find him on the right, because in the middle he can't get away from Rodri. I just think that at the moment we're not playing well. This is why they're European champion. This is why at the moment they are your nemesis. You need to find a way. If you want to win a World Cup, it's not always going to be pretty. You have to reverse that one. It's going to be a difficult one. And for the people that thought that Spain didn't have a 9, Oyarzabal scores when Spain needs it.
17 goals in his last 18 games. Real quick, Zlatan, what do France need to do for you second half?
They need to activate Dembélé, Olise and Mbappe, but once they get the ball, they should play more with control and not lose easy balls, because now they lose too easy balls, do simple mistakes, and they need to control more the game when they have the ball, and then have patience, not lose their focus when the Spain are doing the possession. They have to be patient, choose their moments, when to press and win the ball, and from there they go.
Okay, France have it all to do.